fifth grade. In this video, we're going to talk about how to play the Wedding March, which is the first song in Recorder Karate 2. As always, the first thing you want to look for is what pitches are used. And so that is right up here. And you'll see we're using D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, and then high C and high D. These are all the notes you learned in book 1. And I'm going to play through these real quick and just show you what they look like, just in case you've forgotten, but you can also go back and reference the videos that I did for Recorder Karate 1, and that might help you as well. So in your book, there is a fingering chart, and I believe it is at the end in this one. It's at the beginning in the other recorder book. Just a second. Here it is. So here are all the notes that you need in this book. For this song, though, we're not using all of those. So the lowest pitch that we'd use is the D, hiding under the line on treble clef. It's right under the staff there. And you'll see that you use all of your fingers except your right pinky. As always, left hand is on top. Sorry about that, guys. Trying to have my phone plugged in and record at the same time. There we go. So for the D, got left hand on top, right hand here, and there we go. Everything but your right pinky use sounds like this. And for these low notes, it's really important that you're not using too much air pressure, because if you use too much air pressure, it's going to squeak up. We don't want that. No squeaking. And if that's not the problem, make sure the holes are all covered. Okay? The next note, E, on the bottom line there of the treble clef. And for this, we're going to use all except the bottom 2 fingers on the right hand. So we've got left hand 1, 2, 3, and thumb, of course. And then right hand 1 and 2. Making sure you're covering completely, not too much air. Sounds like this. Now you'll see there's 2 F's here, F natural and F sharp. F sharp is the one we've learned, and that's the one that we're going to use for this song. Once again, your fingers are assigned to specific holes on the recorder. So you're always using the same finger on the same hole. And some of you tend to try and slide down to play that F sharp, but it's really important that you don't do that, especially when we get to Old Joe Clark next. So to play F sharp, it looks a lot like a D, except you're lifting the index finger. So you're covered thumb 1, 2, 3, and then 2 and 3 on the right hand. Again, a reminder, if you play piano, the fingers are not the same for recorder. We use different numbers. The index finger is number 1, and we don't count the thumb. F sharp sounds like this. All of you should be good with G because it's one of the very first notes you learned, but here it is. Thumb 1, 2, 3 on the left and sounds like this. And then A is, trying to get it where you can see it, right there. So A, thumb 1, 2 on the left. And then we've got, again, you'll see there's 2 B's, a B flat and a B natural. This is the one you've learned already, B. So that's going to be thumb and first finger. And then for high C, which they have the little apostrophe there, means C prime or high C, it's thumb and second finger. Got to put the book down so I can support the recorder with my right hand for this one. And then finally, we've got D. And so high D just uses your middle finger, number 2, on your left hand. Your thumb is not covered, as you can see there. And that sounds like this. So there you go. Those are the notes we're going to need for this song. And always, the next thing you should do after you look for the pitches is to see the new information at the bottom. In this case, it's a lot of review. We're assuming that it's been a while since you did recorders, so we want to make sure you remember everything from book 1. So, really important to check your key signature right here. Okay, the key signature, that's a sharp, looks like a hashtag. We call it a sharp in music, makes the note a little higher. And that's super important because that means that you have to play all your sharps, all your F's sharp. I apologize. The biggest issue I see with kids in book 2 is that there are different key signatures. Sometimes there's a sharp, sometimes there's not, sometimes there's a flat, and people forget that. But that's really important because if you don't play the correct pitches, the song is not going to sound correct. So we're making sure we're playing an F sharp. We still have 4 beats per measure. Top number of our time signature tells us how many. The bottom number tells us what kind. The how many is 4 beats per measure. And the 4 on the bottom tells us that the quarter note gets the beat. And that will be the case for every song in this book. They'll all have the quarter note as the beat. There is one song, I think, in Honors Recorder that doesn't, but for the purposes of this book, the quarter note gets the beat. So we're making sure it's telling you all about the rhythms here, okay? And I'll let you read that on your own. I'll give you a second. Hopefully you have your book at home, but, you know, school closing was kind of a sudden thing, so maybe not. So I'll just let you see that there. Okay, there we go. So we're remembering our single eighth notes have the flag. Those get half a beat. And dotted quarter notes get a beat and a half. A dot always adds half a note's value onto it. So for example, with a dotted half note gets 2. Half of 2 is 1. So we do 1 for the dot, 2 for the half note, 2 plus 1 is 3. For a dotted quarter note gets 1. Half of 1 is 1/2. 1 plus 1/2 is 1.5. So that gets 1.5 beats. When we need to count eighth notes, we're going to use and between the beats. So if I were to count quarter notes, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I'm counting eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. There we go. So making sure you know all of that. Again, your very first step in learning any new song, whether you're really good at reading notes or not, is to name all of these notes. If you're super strong at doing that, you certainly can go right to speaking them in rhythm, but it's a step you don't want to skip. The more you do of reading the notes and speaking them out loud, the more fluent you're going to become with reading music. And that's kind of our goal here, is to get you fluently reading, because that skill can transfer to any instrument. It can transfer to piano. And I started playing piano in 6th grade, or a little bit before, but I mean, I was older than you when I started piano. And I started tuba in 5th grade again. So all of those skills transfer to whether you're singing or playing an instrument. The notes are the same. Tuba's in bass clef, but that's for another day. Once you can read treble clef, bass clef is kind of the same idea, so it's not too hard to learn. So to make sure we can speak those notes in rhythm, again, for the first line, that's going to sound like D, G, 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 2, 3, rest, D, A, F sharp, G, 2, 3, and then we have those little rests, those quarter rests, one beat of silence. Once you can do that, you want to take your recorder and you want to practice trying to do the fingers in the right place while you're speaking the notes in rhythm. So that would be D, G, 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 rest, D, A, F sharp, G, rest. Finally, you are going to try and play the piece. For this video and this video only, I will show you how this is played. For the subsequent videos in this book, I'm going to play it out of sight. So here we go, Wedding March. And there you have it, the Wedding March. I hope to see you on Zoom soon for testing or just to say hi. I hope you're all doing well, and hopefully I'll get to see you in person soon too. I'm thinking about all of you and your families. Take care.